I mean, AOC has God knows how many Twitter followers. All of these people. I mean, there is a sleeping progressive base that is looking to be activated, that is looking to see people fighting and then follow that fight. Yet we've seen, by and large, most of these elected progressives trying to work through the system rather than tap into the base, activate activists. One example, I asked Ro Khanna when he came on and I interviewed him, why aren't you guys in West Virginia holding a massive rally? All of these things are wildly popular. He told me he didn't think that would make a difference. I mean, as best as you could describe, what is this mindset? Why are they trying to work through a system that they ran on challenging?
I think, first of all, as you were sort of referring to in your question, there is no, right now, the problem is not, people are not angry, they're not looking to be activated. That is not the situation we face. In fact, there is huge potential if we have leaders, not only, as elected representatives in Congress or in City Hall, but also labor movement leaders or unelected leaders of social movements. If we had leadership that was willing to mobilize ordinary people, the potential is boundless for how much we could actually push back and win concrete victories, including $15 an hour federally, Medicare for all, and even bigger things. I mean, ordinary people are also calling to for the cancellation of the COVID debt, because renters are facing now $20 billion of debt. I mean, it is an untenable situation. Economists have predicted there is going to be a tsunami of evictions unless something is done. So a lot of people, ordinary people, working people, are reaching the breaking point and they are looking to fight back. It's not uniform in any way, obviously, but a huge layer of politicized or young people are looking for a way to fight back. What's missing is the key ingredient in addition to the mass mobilization, which is the leadership that can mobilize mass numbers of workers. And why do leaders, including elected officials, of course, but I wouldn't limit this critique or this question that you are asking only to people in Congress or in City Hall. I would say that in general, why is it that leaders don't do what we do in Seattle, what we are doing in Socialist Alternative? And I think the main question there is I think one is related to what kind of organizations they belong to, and that's where the fact that I am a member of Socialist Alternative has a lot to do with why I am different. It's not just my personality traits. It's the question of the kind of organization you belong to, but it's also, what deters them is I just wanted to start with that, which is that when you do what you need to do, when you use your office to expose the Democrats for their betrayals, like if AOC were to do what I do in Seattle, which is call out Nancy Pelosi openly, saying you are betraying working people by taking the side of Wall Street, telling Sinema she is shameful for opposing even this basic modicum of justice in the shape of $15 an hour for the poorest of workers. If she were to do that, if the squad were to do that, they would immediately come under ferocious political assault from the elite in the Democratic Party establishment. And the question is, are they willing to take that on? And I don't think they are. And that's what it comes down to. What it comes down to is, despite all the best intentions in the world, if you as an elected representative don't wake up every day and recognize, I am not there to make friends. Yes, if I am doing my job right, it will make me enemies in high places. And if I am not making those enemies, if I am not being attacked every day, if I'm not under ferocious assault every day, then there is something wrong. I am falling short. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people, including I'm sure who are watching this right now, don't want to hear this. They want to hear that it is possible to win major progressive gains for working people, let alone change society fundamentally, if you just talk nicely to the bosses, talk nicely to Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Christian Sinema and Joe Manchin, and somehow things will work out. That's not how it works. In fact, it's the exact opposite, which is that if you are not using your public position, your public platform in order to call them out specifically, then you are completely failing. And the way the system upholds its status quo is by branding anybody who does that work of exposing them as, oh, you're uncivil, you're shrill, you don't know how to play well, you are not a good person, you don't make friends, you are mean. All of these things are quotes from that I've heard describing my own behavior. You have to have the political clarity. Again, this is not about personality traits. You have to have the political clarity to understand that the politics of civility is deadly to achieving any kind of working class victories. You have to remember the only people you need to be nice to are the people who are suffering. And if you're not being, and if you're preoccupied with being nice, quote unquote, nice to Joe Manchin and Nancy Pelosi, then you bet that you're being not nice to the tens of millions of working people who need you to fight for them. And that's why it's a non-starter for anybody who wants to actually win progressive victories to be a part of the Democratic Party, which is a party of the billionaires. And so, as I said, my strength comes from the fact that I am not alone. I have an entire organization that stands with me, and that organization itself, the members of Socialist Alternative themselves, are rooted in the working class. Many of us, we are working class people. We are renters, we are baristas, we are tech workers, we are teachers, we are union members, and we are rooted in our community.
And last question, touching on Amazon, I just wanted to ask you about this current events. There was a massive tornado that rippled through many states. At this point, over 100 dead in multiple states. And information is coming out, including text messages, that workers who died in an Illinois Amazon center were basically made to work. One text message from a worker, Larry Verdon, he texted his spouse saying, "Amazon won't let us leave." During this tornado, he died, and 5 others in this warehouse died. Obviously, Amazon's doing spin control. Its CEO, actually, not Jeff Bezos, whoever the CEO is, wrote on Twitter or something, "Oh, we're addressing these things, blah, 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 blah." This is not the first time. I spoke with workers in Staten Island who were forced to work during Hurricane Ida over earlier this year. And what has also come out is a lot of these workers are contractors and not even full-time Amazon employees. I just wanted to ask you, because you've been one of the few officials who has been outspoken about Amazon for years. I mean, just what does it say to you that even during a tornado, they did have advanced warning, despite them saying they didn't, that it was business as usual and this Amazon location was kept open?
It is completely unspeakable what has happened to the workers who lost their lives. I mean, first of all, of course, condolences to the families and friends and co-workers of the workers who were killed essentially by the complete callousness of the executives and the billionaires who own Amazon. Because under capitalism, the lives of workers, the lives of working class people and poor people were dispensable. That's how inhumane the system is. And so what Amazon has done is, it's not unique to Amazon, but it is a reminder of how inhumane, deeply inhumane the system of capitalism is. And concretely, it also is a reminder of how urgent it is that we have unionization of Amazon workers and reject the whole concept of being contractors. You need to be an employee, and you need to have the ability to join a union, and the union as a whole needs to fight against these inhumane policies where repeatedly Amazon has refused to carry out even the basic extreme weather protections for their workers.